Are you looking for a super easy scarf pattern for beginners where the bottom of your scarf matches on both sides without having to add a border, plus has super straight edges? This easy granny stitch scarf for beginners is for you. Hi, it's Krista at the Secret Yarnery. Today we are making the super easy granny stitch scarf for beginners. It has super straight edges, so if that's something you struggle with, this pattern is for you. Plus, the beginning of the scarf matches the end of the scarf, so both tails or both ends match without having to add a border. None of that yucky chain on one side. And there's only 2 tails to sew in. The finished size of my scarf is 58 inches long and 9 inches wide. To make your super easy granny stitch scarf for beginners, you're going to need yarn. I am using size 4 worsted weight acrylic yarn, 200 grams, so one of those big skeins of yarn. I will link this in the description box down below. And I'm also using a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook. I used a 6 millimeter for the hat, but a little bit larger hook for a scarf just gives it that squishy feeling that you want for a garment or a wearable. You'll also need a pair of scissors and a needle for sewing in your ends. And here are the timestamps. You can jump back into where you left off, and let's get started. To start your granny stitch scarf for beginners, we are going to start by making a slip knot any which way you normally do, shrinking that down and popping it onto your hook, and chaining 25. And you want to do a relaxed chain, so that means when you have your loop on your hook, you don't want to be pulling on it and making it tight. You want everything to be relaxed. If you pull on your stitch, it shrinks up that chain before, and it just gets difficult to work into. We want it to be just relaxed. So up on the fat part of your hook, and don't correct your tension. So there's 1, 2, 3. You can pause the video and I'll meet you back when you have chained 25. When you have chained 25, we want to work into our back loops. So just hold your pretty little V's on your crochet hook and turn that to the side so we can see these little camel bumps along the back side. So our first camel bump, or our first back loop, is right underneath the working yarn, right here. So that is 1, 2, 3. We want to work into number 4 right there. So wrap your yarn and into that 4th back loop from your hook. Just slide it onto your hook and make 1 double crochet into that 4th chain from your hook. And now we're going to make 22 double crochets just around our chain. So we don't have to work into our chain. We're just going to go around it, and we're going to make 22 double crochets around our chain. There's 1, 2, 3. You can pause the video, just keep working along. You want to make 22 double crochets around your chain. So don't worry about looking for any of those chains. Just work right around the chain. We want 22 double crochets around our chain, and I'll meet you when you have them done. If you'd like to follow along with a written pattern, all of my patterns are available on my website, secretyarnery.com, and all of my patterns are written in plain English, just like I was sitting there right beside you. And 22. So don't worry about the spacing. That's going to get sorted out in a little bit. So I have a little bit of my chain left. I'm going to chain 2, and now I'm going to slip stitch into that very last chain. So that last chain right before our slip knot, I'm just going to push my hook in any which way and slip stitch. Just like that. You can space out your stitches a little bit if you feel like it, if you're worried about it. But it's going to get all sorted out in the next round. Chain 2 again, 1 and 2, and now we're going to rotate our work. So we were like this, and we just finished with our chain 2. Now we're going to rotate our work, and we're going to work along that same chain. Now we're going to work along this side because we want the bottom of our scarf to match the top of our scarf. So our chain 2 counts as a stitch, and I'm going to move 2 of these double crochets a little bit over, and I'm going to make 3 double crochets into the space after. So the chain 2 plus 2 double crochets, and right into that space, 3 double crochets, still working around that chain. 1, 2, and 3. Slide 3 more double crochets over, like that, and into the space right after that set of 3, we're going to make 3 double crochets on the opposite side of our chain. Slide 3 double crochets over. There's our 3, and 3 double crochets around the chain. 1, 2, and 3. Slide 3 more stitches over. 1, 2, 3, and 3 double crochets around the chain. There's 2 and 3. And we're going to just keep doing that all the way along, sliding 3 stitches over and making 3 double crochets around the chain. If I'm going too fast or too slow, you can speed me up or slow me down just with that gear on the video. Sliding our 3 stitches over and making 3 double crochets around the chain. So that's a really good thing about this pattern. The beginning and end of our scarf are going to match, and we don't have to work into our chain, so it's a lot easier. Slide 3 more stitches over and 3 double crochets around the chain. Just like that, and now we have this loop at the end of our row, and into this last space, we're going to do our 3 double crochets into that last space. There. Just like that. So that is the beginning of our scarf, and the bottom of our scarf is going to look the same as the top of our scarf. So we don't have to worry about a border or edging or it looking funny. It is going to be great. And it's also going to space out perfectly as we work along our scarf. So for the repeat, this is what we're going to do for the rest of our scarf. We're going to start with a chain 2, 1 and 2, turn your work, and then we're going to jump over. We're going to jump over this first set of stitches and make 3 double crochets into the space. So jump over, 3 double crochets into the space. And 3 double crochets into each space all the way along our row, in between those sets of stitches. So there's 3 double crochets into each of these spaces. So you can pause the video, keep working along, 3 double crochets into each space, all the way along. So each of these spaces is going to get 3 double crochets, and I'll meet you when you get to the end of your row right over here. When you reach the end of your row, we're always going to finish with 3 double crochets. So we're going to do a full stop. So full stop, we're going to fill up that last space with 3 double crochets. So full set of 3 double crochets into that last space. And we're always going to do that at the end of our row. And we're always going to start with a chain 2, turn your work, and jump over. So a jump start to start, 3 double crochets into that first space, jumping over those first stitches. 3 double crochets into each space all the way along our row. Just like that, and then we have 1 space left at the end, and we're doing a full stop, so a full set of stitches at the end. So jump start, full stop to finish, and we're doing this for the whole scarf all the way up. We're just going to repeat that until the scarf is the height or the length you want it to be. So now pause the video and keep working along, doing your jump start, so chaining 2, turning, and making your 3 double crochets into that first space, and a full stop of 3 double crochets into that last space, back and forth all the way along until you've used up all your yarn or your scarf is the height you want it to be. When your scarf is the height you want it to be, at the end of your row after your last double crochet, your last full stop, chain 1 to secure your yarn, cut your yarn, leaving a long enough tail to sew in with a needle later, pull your hook up and your yarn through to sew in your tail, thread your needle, and we can just work right back down that stitch and across these stitches at the bottom, the fat part. In those stitches, we can just go back and forth. You don't want to pull too tight, and then just work back and forth underneath these stitches. If you're using a sharp tip needle, it helps a lot. They're linked in the description box below at my Amazon shop. And then just cut your tail off, just like that. And you want to do the same thing on the other end. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I did. I'm waiting for you in that video up there, and stay hooked.